So on to the third of our finals, part two of the Quality in New Zealand Sprint Nationals for 2010. It is the Glamour Rotax Light Final. Somewhat of a glamour class. Tony, you are a former winner of this national title in Rotax Lights.
Yeah, won the title actually here, 2006. And actually had very similar form to what Josh has had, winning all the heats and the pre-final and coming to the finals. So we'll see how Josh's light goes today.
There's probably not too many more drivers at the moment with racing experience and drive time. He's been racing over the last couple of seasons, I think, out of Austria and the European Rotax Championships.
Yeah, he's been racing for an Intrepid team out of Austria there, and the experience learned over there is second to none. You can't really buy that sort of experience, and it's certainly showing with Josh here this weekend.
Ryan Urban, you've got to say, was pretty dominant in last year's win at the Hamilton Kart Club, but he's been a little bit quiet this weekend. Maybe just the workload of running in 4 classes just hurting him a little bit as he goes down the inside of Christchurch's Chris Cox.
Yeah, nice clean pass by Ryan. Yeah, certainly running 4 classes is going to be hard for anyone, no matter how fit you are. But I know, obviously, dealing with Ryan personally, he really has struggled for setup in the Max Kart this weekend. Just trying to find a balance, but we'll see. It's a long race. We'll see what happens.
So he finished just inside the top 10 for the pre-final, so a little bit of work to do. There's Matt Hamilton, former national champ. He's already won the Yamaha Light title here this weekend at the ZM Raceway. 66 just in behind is Matt Straker from Christchurch. A big Christchurch contingent here for the Nationals, as we pretty much see every year.
You'll see young Matthew Kingsman chasing him down here, number 30. Good to see Matthew back in the kart. It's been a while. He's out there in his brother's Daniel in his world final suit. Obviously borrowed some gear for the weekend, and he's doing a good job. Obviously it's a pretty hard weekend to jump straight in, but we'll keep an eye on Matthew as well.
Matt Hamilton, Matt Straker and Matt Kinsman. There's a line. This is Daniel Kinsman, Matt's younger brother, with a pass on Andrew Hoare. Can he make it stick down to 2?
Yeah, good to see Andrew Hoare back in the Max this weekend as well. Driving for Graham Voss, a Kiwi Country driver. Hasn't done a lot of Max stuff over the past couple of years, really concentrated on their Yamaha program, but good to see him doing a great job here in the Max Light class.
Just 0.8 of a second, covered 24 drivers after qualifying. That is outstanding, but that's the nature of the ZM Raceway here at Hastings. It's quite tight, it's relatively short at 678 metres.
And Chris Cox out of Christchurch here, he's doing a good job. He's chasing down Ryan, and Ryan's chasing down Andrew, and Andrew's chasing down Daniel, so we'll keep an eye on that group.
We saw an amazing final in the Yamaha Lights, but at the moment, Matt Hamilton just not making too much progress forward. He's just struggling back there just outside of the 6.
Yeah, here's that balance issue that we're talking about with Ryan's case. He's really struggling to put power down that kart. He's dropping wheels off left, right and centre. So obviously finding the kart's a little bit too steery in the front for him, so we'll just keep an eye on that, see how that develops.
There's Fiona Hamilton, Matt Hamilton's sister, back in kart sport. She hasn't done a lot of racing recently either, but she tends to pop up at the New Zealand titles year to year, racing there with the 62 of John Van Bommel.
Yeah, once again, someone that hasn't done a huge amount of racing over the past couple of years now that she's not based in New Zealand. But good to see Fiona back in the seat, come back for the Nationals, and she's battling with some boys which have been racing every weekend, so you can't fault that.
Former New Zealand Rotax Light champion in her own right. So there's Ryan Urban, he's chasing down Andrew Hoare, Chris Cox right in behind. Urban might just be running out of laps here to try and get towards the front. 22 laps. Josh Hart is he's just killing them at the moment. He's out front by about 4 seconds.
Yeah, obviously having no one to battle and having a nice clean track will certainly be helping Josh out the front. All these boys back here are starting to hustle one another along, and like we said plenty of times before, once these boys start passing, it certainly slows one another down.
We have seen quite a few of the defending title holders struggling here in the second part of the weekend for the Quality in New Zealand Sprint Nationals, but Josh Hart is just demolishing this quality field of Rotax Lights, running the Intrepid chassis out of Italy.
You'd probably, for anyone not knowing a whole lot about kart sport, they'd probably think Josh was running a motor in or running on half throttle, because that's how smooth he does look this afternoon.
Lachlan Neal with a pass. This is further back, passing the 16 of Daniel Connor, so this is just on the 10. So lots of battles within battles. John Van Bommel in the mix there as well.
Yeah, once again, we sort of talk about setups. You've got young Daniel Collar based in Auckland. Obviously John Van Bommel out of Tauranga, 2 very good top half and Rotax Light competitors. And like you said, back in the 8th, 9th and 10th positions, so very uncharacteristic of these drivers, but they obviously it's a set-up thing this weekend.
Connor's only recently made the move from the junior classes into the senior ranks, which I think you can do from, what, 15 years of age?
Yeah, that's right, 15 years and up is our senior class.
All sorts of different classes to be able to run with the Yamaha light and heavy, Rotax light and heavy, and of course the open classes and the KZ2s. 66. Matt Straker from Christchurch. He's running inside the top 6. But Josh Hart, he's got over a 5-second lead now. Late stages of the final for Rotax Light. Manawatu's Josh Hart will take the checkered flag in the national crown in the prestigious Rotax Light class, and look at the gap back to second. Daniel Kinsman with a fantastic effort from Manawatu's Andrew Hoare. Hart, Kinsman and Hoare 1, 2 and 3. Chris Cox from Christchurch in 4th ahead of Ryan Urban, the reigning national champion. Christchurch's Matt Straker.
Well, Josh, 5.5 seconds, that was a pretty comfortable margin.
Yeah, like I say, the Intrepid chassis has been working fantastic all weekend, and the Yamaha and the Rotax, so it made my life a bit easier out there. It
was a tough race the whole time. Josh pulled away, but then second and fifth was pretty close. Towards the end, started to have a few clutch problems, started slipping, and they started to catch me back up, and it got a bit intense again.
There was no way anybody was going to get near him, but it certainly was a hard-fought battle.
Oh, it certainly was, and full credit to Daniel and his team. They had a faster car at the beginning, and I couldn't peg them back with another tenth or so.